Hey everybody, we're going to start off this video just wrapping up one of my previous series, which was the Crossley 124 radio. It really is part of a larger grandfather clock. It's a Crossley Playtime, and it was made in 1931. And this particular clock came from Chicago. I have to imagine that in 1931, $150 for a clock radio was pretty expensive given the Depression. So whoever owned this thing at that point must have been fairly wealthy. So anyway, we've restored this now, this grandfather clock, and you'll see it's sitting in a nice spot in my dining room. And we've got new grill cloth there, and it looks really good. And we've got our radio installed. This is the one we had the problem with the oscillator. And then I had to replace the clock motor. It had a a Hanson synchronous motor, which had seized up. And I was gonna take it apart and fix it, and I thought about it, and you know, it's really not safe to leave running all the time. So I did install a new Hanson clock movement, and I'm waiting for some more authentic hands to get here. So for now I'm just using these, but I will have something that's more suitable for this era clock. So with that, let's turn the radio on. And we'll let that warm up. And then we'll take a quick look around the back, and then we'll get to our project, which is our Airline AM/FM radio, and we'll show you what we're doing there. So this was a fun project. I don't think I've ever seen anyone restore one of these on YouTube, so this is probably a first. But really cool. I did clean up the case and all that stuff, and the clock's working really well.
God is, and He will be to you all that you let Him be. God bless.
Look at that oscillator. I love it when oscillators work. I have a really short antenna on this.
That you can endorse, and then the fair tax selecting these.
So there you have it. So let's flip it around the back so you can see that, and then we'll go back and work on our other project. Back in a second.
That can matter trouble.
Okay, so there's our clock movement. I haven't finished tacking up these wires. I'm going to tack it right here to the side and keep it out of the way. Right now I have it wrapped around this post just for strain relief. Let me lower this radio. Okay, and you can see we have our radio chassis installed, and we fixed this this mounting shelf that's there, and we did put a little bit of a brace in there, right there, that piece of maple. But you'll see she looks really nice. There's our dial light lighting up. There's our oscillator tube in all its glory. And everything's working well. The only thing that I don't have on this radio, there was supposed to be a shield here. There was, in the original radio, there was a metal shield that kind of covered up this IF and RF section. I don't have that. So I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I do have just a gator wire going to a wire on the window here. So it's a very short antenna. I'm sure it can pick up a lot more stations if I had a longer antenna. And there's our speaker, which has been repaired, and I did a lot of work on the speaker to repair it. There was a big gape right across it. Used the old coffee filter and glue trick. Worked like a champ. And there we go. All right. So there's our radio, our clock radio, and now we'll go on to the next project. Be back. One other thing I'm going to show you real quick. Here's that Philco 1201 that I restored a while back. And here's the Hallicrafters Sky Buddy that we got from John from Arkansas. So this stuff is all displayed here. Also here, I have a Crossley 755, beautiful wooden cabinet. And there's the horn speaker for my my Atwater Kent 20C. And this is a Silvertone that I restored a while back. I don't remember if I did a series on this or not, but this has been restored. I redid the case. This was all destroyed. So we got some pretty cool stuff in this room. And there we go. All right, be back. Hey everybody. So we're back working on our radio here. This is our Airline radio. If you recall, it's the 74BR 1812A. I just want to report where we are. So I've done a lot of work underneath. Still more to do. I've tested all the tubes, and I did find that that this tube needed to be replaced. And that tube, just to make sure I'm telling you the right one, is the, let's see, it's a 6BA6 tube right there. So I had to replace that. It was marginal, the one that was there. This is the output tube. This is the 6V6. The one I had there was getting really hot, and it shouldn't be getting that hot. So I replaced that, and I did put in a new rectifier tube. I had all these in inventory. I have a pretty good inventory. So let's flip it over, and I'll show you what the bottom looks like and show you where we are. Still more work to do. Once we get it working FM-wise, because it does work right now, AM, right? And I'll just show you what it does quickly from an FM perspective. I got to remember, when you turn this thing on, it's the tone control, so you got to bring your volume down where you're going to get slammed on volume. This is AM. That's the AM. Here's the FM band. Nothing. Okay, and I do have an antenna connected right here. Let's power this off, and we'll remove all these connections and flip it over. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's the flip side, and you know, you'll see a couple things here. So you'll see I've replaced some of these caps. These are .004s that were. There's one here, 1, 2, 3. I still have a few more to do, but I want you to look at these ones I took out. So these are the wax caps that I removed. That's the 004s. This one doesn't look so bad, but take a look at this one. Look at the end of that. This thing's been melting, right? So there's something going on here, and I know exactly what it is. So a lot of these resistors are out of spec, way out of spec. So my next plan is going to be to start swapping out some resistors. For example, right here, this one is actually burnt a little bit. Probably can't see that. But this is why it's important to do a visual of things. Right there. This thing's a little bit charred. So you know, so it's important to do the visual, and don't just start ripping out components. Do the visual, figure out what's broken, what's not, and then go from there. So, you know, I have a couple of other caps right here which I'm going to swap out. These are, you know, more in the tone stack, honestly. Right, this is the tone right here, that cap, and there's a few more here that I'm going to swap out because they're all wax. These mica caps right here generally don't go bad, but it doesn't mean we don't test them. The thing I'm really concerned about in this radio more than anything is the resistors. These resistors appear to be very old. These are the Bumblebee type resistors, which we all know go bad, and there's probably going to be a lot of work to do to replace these things. I'm sure of it, actually. So we're going to get the meter out, and we're going to test all these resistors and see where we are. And I suspect that once we do that, we're going to get the FM to work. It's still going to need an alignment, and that'll be fine. This cap you see right here, by the way, is a 10 microfarad 150 that was mounted to this clip here. So we've taken that out. It actually doesn't look too bad, except a little bit of bulging right here, which is not good. But again, you know, this is an old one. It's a Sprague, right? So this is old, and you know, this is the 25 we took out. This is one of them solar caps. We all know what solar caps mean. So so we're making some decent progress. So, you know, the good news is that AM works, and you know, we'll be in really good shape. I do have the dial out. I think I showed you this already in the previous video, but if I didn't, I'll show you anyway. So I do have the dial out. It's right here. It's plastic. It's not made out of glass, which is unusual. And you'll see that there's some spots where the paint's missing, like right here. You can see the light through there. Okay. And I have some of this acrylic brown, which I've used before on dial glass. It's burnt umber, and it's pretty damn close. So we'll probably end up touching this up with some of this paint, but we're not there yet. We're a long way from that. So that's been done. And our speaker grill hasn't been done yet, any of that stuff. We want to get this thing working electronically first. So so I'm going to go off and start changing some of these other caps out and resistors, and I will come back and show you where we are, and hopefully we'll do some good testing on the FM band. So I'll be back. Okay, I just removed the resistor that I showed you, which was right here, going to T10, if you're following along, which is the FM detector. Goes right to the FM detector tube, and this resistor is supposed to be, and I'll show you on the schematic. Unfortunately, the schematic doesn't list the values, but it's but it's resistor R29, which is right here. And the value of R29 is 2.2K. All right, here's the resistor. It's got 3 red bands, and I measured it on the meter, and I get 400 ohms. So this is probably why FM wasn't working. So we're going to replace this resistor, and then we're going to fire it up again and see what we get. It's really the only one that really looked ratty on me here, but there could be plenty of other bad ones. But we're going to start with that one first. So let me do that, and we'll be back. Okay, our resistor is replaced. We used the pigtail method on it. So now we're going to flip it over and try it. I really want to make sure I know which component I'm fixing here. So I don't want to just start ripping out resistors. I want to try to use a little bit of troubleshooting. Normally I just rip shit out and put it back in, but this time I'm trying to follow the schematic, and that's why I'm doing one at a time. Alright, be back. Okay, that resistor was changed and did not change anything, but I have now stumbled into the next path right here, which is this 470K resistor, which sits on the plate of the FM detector. You'll see it comes right down here. It's R32, and it's supposed to be 470K, and it's currently reading about 200K. So that one's definitely way out of tolerance as well. So we're going to go change this one, and then we're going to try it again. Be back. Okay, our quest continues. Changing that resistor did not change anything. So now we're focused here on the detector again, R31, which is a 5.6 meg resistor. And we're going to confirm that on the chart here. Let's see where we are. I'm sorry, it's not R31, it's R8. It's 5.6 meg. Okay, so we're going to replace that. This resistor that I took out, is measuring 500K. So it's way out of spec. So let's replace that and we'll see what happens. Okay, we've basically changed all the resistors around this FM detector tube. Most of them were out of tolerance, way out of tolerance. There's one good one right in here. It's a 22K. I'm going to leave it alone for now. And we're going to test this section. Then we're going to move over to the FM trimmers around there, because there's a lot of resistors in there, which look kind of flaky to me. You can probably see a few in there. They look a little bit worn out, like this one here, right there. And then there's a couple of more down here which are buried. So we're gonna focus on those next. But let's do a quick test and see if we've made any improvement. Be back. Okay, so we changed our first round of resistors around the cans, the FM cans, and we're still not there yet. This is T10, this is T6, T5, and T4. So I've got the resistors around here replaced, and I just did a preliminary check of the resistors around these cans, and they're all out of spec. So I'm not gonna bore you with every resistor I change here. But the thing I'm finding really interesting is I did hook up a signal generator at 10.7 megacycles, I guess it is, to the antenna, and I am getting a signal through. So so something is definitely not right under there. And that's what I'm about to learn, I guess, right? Is how to fix an FM radio. AM radio works real good, so I'm fortunate that that's good. So now I just need to, get in there, get the components in a steady state, and then I'll be able to to possibly align this thing, which I've never aligned an FM radio before, so that'll be interesting. But I do have a good set of instructions and an alignment procedure that I have here. So as long as you follow instructions, you're good, right? So I'm going to end this video here, put this up. It's the start of another work week coming up. So it's going to be a little bit before I can work on this again. Probably Tuesday night will be the first time, and then we got Thanksgiving. So if I don't put another video up before then, I wish every one of you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And it's a great time to be thankful for everything we have, right? Friends, YouTube, videos, family, money, jobs, everything, right? It's time to be thankful. And if we can only hope that we do that all year round, we'd be in good shape, right? So anyway, you guys have a great one. And I will see you guys on the flip side of Thanksgiving. Take care.